Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. And Mr. Warren Hayes, that's me. I'm Mr. Warren Hayes himself. I'm glad that you've decided to click the play button on wherever you found this video, whether it be somewhere on Twitter, perhaps even on YouTube, maybe, on some other bizarre aggregator site that decides to compile all my videos. I don't know why anyone would do that, but you know what? I try not to dwell on those things because it makes me both worried and afraid. Thank you very much for being here. And if you've watched some of my videos before, maybe you're looking at my environment right here, and you're saying to yourself, Warren, where's the handsome bear that's usually right here in the background? Where are the lovely colors? There's nothing. This is very blank, very dull. There's Batman and Mankind and some other dude here, but that's it. I have decided to co-opt a certain area of my house to make sure that I can record and do as many of these videos, these contents, as much as possible without having to disturb the other people with whom I share this living space, who are not necessarily as enthusiastic as I am about pro wrestling. So, this is a work in progress. I started this, started moving things around, and it's an area of my house that's a lot cooler as well. I don't know if you saw my Raw review yesterday, but as the video progressed, I became, well, we're in a heat wave right now, and I feel like most of the world is in a heat wave currently. And as the video went on and on, I became sweatier and stickier and more gross to look at. So I figured that was the end of that. There wouldn't be no more of this gross, oily old guy on YouTube. Well, I mean, in my case, there wouldn't be any more of that. I can't speak for what other people want to do and put on YouTube, right? But, so the area where I am as well is much cooler. That was my segue, is that it's much cooler as well. So, go right ahead. If you haven't watched my Raw review, you can just go ahead and watch it. It's a pretty cool review. I like that review. So today is my SmackDown review, if we're being logical, if we're following everything in its normal path. Today being Wednesday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day to all my American buddies, friends, well-wishers, amigos who are out there celebrating with fireworks and alcoholic beverages and links of meat upon bread adorned with various condiments. Yes, enjoy the 4th of July, everyone. Even if you're not American, enjoy the 4th of July. It's just another day for you, as it is for me. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. We can't make it a special day. I think that's important. Programming note, today is Wednesday. That means we have NXT on tonight, Wednesday evening on the WWE Network. As always, drop in on Periscope immediately after NXT to come chat with me live, where I will give a live review of NXT right there for you all, and we can chat, we can discuss, you can share questions, I can share thoughts, you can share your own thoughts as well. I like to see it as a collaborative movement, what we're getting into. So that'd be great. Do that right after NXT, and maybe who knows, there might even be some surprises in regards to this environment here. So yeah, so that's my big programming note. Be sure to tune in tonight for that. And this is still another glass of my homemade cold brew that I debuted yesterday. That feels good. That's very, very good. Should we talk about SmackDown Live? Let's talk about SmackDown Live. Let me get comfy. There we go. Let's talk about SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is a wrestling show, and this edition aired on July 3rd. So we had a few references to the 4th of July, of course. That's kind of necessary at this point. The show begins with Team Hell No, comprised of Daniel Bryan and Kane, a.k.a. the Big Red Machine. They both come down to the ring where Renee Young is waiting for them with bated breath. And they cut a promo. Brian says, sometimes we fight, sometimes we hug. Speaking about him and Kane. Sometimes we fight, sometimes we hug, but together we deliver and we are unstoppable. And Kane basically adds, Team Hell No has been through hell together. So, good on them. They're coming back as a solid tag team. Renee then asks straight up to Kane, Kane, why'd you come back? And Kane starts saying, Daniel has a bit of a temper. He can get a bit hot-headed sometimes. And, when I saw him acting up with the Bludgeons last week, I figured I should come give him a hand. He always has, and you could see Daniel Bryan sort of look at him and like, what? What are you trying to say here, buddy? Kane says that Daniel can always rest assured because he always has a demon looking over his shoulder. Looking over him, I mean. And Brian says to that, he says, not always. What? Why? He doesn't always look over me. Last time we were in the ring together, Kane, we were enemies. You wanted to end my career. And Kane's sort of like, yeah, we're competitors. Here, what we're doing here today, this is a fresh start. We have to concentrate on what unites us. So, wow, politician Kane is pretty funny. And Brian counteracts is like, you tried to abduct my wife. And Kane's like, tried, right? Keyword here. And Kane says, I've always had your back, Brian. And Daniel Bryan says, no, you haven't. And then they get into a shouting match between the yes and the no's until it's interrupted by the Usos, who come out and cut another fantastic promo. It says that you guys don't deserve title shots. Just because you come out and you hug doesn't necessarily mean you get a title shot, or does it? And then they start hugging like 4 times. And it says, yeah, we have 4 title shots now. Hugs equal title shots. I like that. Was a fun promo. Daniel Bryan challenges them to a fight. Like, let's do this right now. And Kane sort of goes, whoa. What Brian's trying to say is that we'll consider this challenge as a team. We'll go discuss it. And it's like Kane in the demon mask, the hellfire and brimstone stuff, and he's acting like a politician. Like I like this. I thought it was just absurd enough. Brian takes offense to that, to Kane sort of challenging his challenge. And that brings out the GM of SmackDown, Paige, who comes out and makes the match as the main event, adding the stipulation to the Usos. If you beat Team Hell No, then the tag team title match at Extreme Rules will be made a triple threat. I like this. This all made sense. I like things when they make sense like this. Because last week, as you may recall, the Usos beat Sanity, right? So technically, that does push them up in the rankings. So for them to come out and say, look, guys, you just hugged last week and suddenly you're in contention for a title shot, but we're actually working here. Basically, that's not what they said, but that's essentially what the storyline leads into, by them coming out and being stupid about hugs, hugs equals title shots. Well, we're actually working. So I like this. This was a nice touch, and it makes sense. If you've watched my Raw reviews, you know that recently I haven't been very, very enamored with the way Raw is handling its storylines. They're very confusing to me. Jeff Hardy has his back turned to the camera and cuts another one of his pretentious promos. Apparently he's been watching some National Geographic, because he explains to us how eagles are able to soar through the sky. And basically he announces the open challenge. Back from commercial, Jeff Hardy enters the ring. Who's going to answer the open challenge? Will it be Shinsuke Nakamura swerving us all with this injury that he'll be out for 2 weeks? Will it be Andrade Cien Almas? No. Neither of those men. It will be The Miz who will come out, which is fine. However, I kind of feel this is a bit of a throwaway. You know? Miz is really good, and Miz is special. Excuse me. There should have been, I feel like a U.S. title match, Jeff Hardy versus Miz, should deserve a little something. That's just me. I would have put Shelton Benjamin back in there again. Why wouldn't he give another shot? That would have been good too. Anyway, nothing really remarkable about this match, though. I don't know what you guys thought, but to me, there really wasn't much to it. First part of the match before the commercial, man, there was nothing going on. There's lots of back and forth offense, nothing remarkable. At some point, Jeff runs and jumps off the steps to he's outside the ring with Miz. He runs and jumps the steps. Miz moves out of the way and shoves him into the barricade. He hits it hard. Crowd likes it, though. Crowd liked this match, and I was pondering, there were 2 commercials during this match, and I was pondering last night on the Twitter thing, whether or not the fact that the fact that the crowd was so into it, were there things going on during the commercial that were really, really cool and that we didn't get to see and would have helped us actually get into the match more. I'm curious, because the crowd was really into it, whereas in reality it was a very, very just there match. Jeff hits a whisper in the wind without murdering himself or Miz, which is something fantastic. Miz goes for the pin at some point, uses the ropes for leverage. Little Nate sees it. Miz thinks he's won, though. And in this confusion, Jeff hits the twist of fate, the Swanton bomb, 1, 2, 3. I also felt that this match was kind of slow. I don't know, again, what you guys thought. I thought it was kind of slow. I felt that both guys weren't exactly, they were like a beat behind each other. There seemed to be a lot of shot calling in the ring. I felt that Miz was, like, you could see that he was calling a lot of shots in the ring. And I don't think Miz has a tendency to do that all that much. But it looks like they were compensating for something. I'm afraid Jeff is really hurt. That's what I'm fearful of. Anyway. Cut to a promo with James Ellsworth backstage, who gives us the most elementary misogynistic promo ever. Like, they're, absolutely nothing original to this, but that's fine. Ellsworth is supposed to be very first level surface, not much depth to him. It's supposed to be kind of cheesy, so that's fine. Back from commercial, we get the July 3rd pancake eating contest with the New Day. And this was not necessary. They kept Andrade Cien Almas and Sin Cara off for this. Apparently, though, Almas and Sin Cara worked the dark match. Almas won, but they worked the dark match before the show, which is cool. Yeah. You kind of wonder what they're going to do with that advertised match now, or are they just going to completely forget it because they feel that they should be giving Almas something bigger to do, which I kind of agree with. But there would have been I would have liked to have seen that match because, I think Sin Cara and Almas' styles complement each other. I think it would have been really fun to watch them go at it. We'll see. We'll see where this goes, but at this point, I've lost all faith in seeing Sin Cara versus Almas at this point. But I haven't lost faith in Almas, though. Pretty sure he'll be on next. So there's this whole segment with the pancakes. They have red, white, and blue pancakes. The red pancakes looked like they looked gross. This didn't appeal to me. And the white pancakes, let's be honest, weren't they were pancake color. Anyway. The idea was there. They start the contest, but lights out, helicopters. It's Sanity. Sanity's having nothing of this nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Is having nothing of this nonsense. Eric Young and crew come in and destroy everyone. Everyone meaning the New Day. Alexander Wolf eats a pancake as he beats up Big E. And the segment ends when Eric Young flies through the air, hits a flying elbow on Xavier Woods through a table. And that's your segment right there. So good. This I'm for. I'm completely pro New Day versus Sanity. This is something that makes 100% sense. It's a great move. I actually think there's a lot of us who were looking forward to this. Seeing Sanity. Yes, because they're both 3-man teams. But also because it's going to be awesome. You kidding me? You're telling me you don't want to see Killian Dane and Big E wail on each other. Eric Young looks so good. And he's so happy to be there. It shows. He's eaten into every moment of this. And this makes sense too. That they attacked the New Day. It's still stupid that Sanity lost their debut match last week. That was a bad call. I don't know who made that call. That was a bad idea. But instead of having them gravitate around the Usos went and added some depth to the title picture, to the title situation, add some logic to that situation. And this, to me, makes sense. Okay, we lost last week. We're going to move on to these other guys then. It all works. They're hyping Ellsworth versus Asuka by, all right, are you ready for this? They're hyping it by comparing James Ellsworth versus Asuka to the Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs tennis match in the 70s. What? Why? Why are they doing this? Is it to try and show that we are very progressive as well? That WWE is so progressive that they're putting their least masculine man, who everyone already has trouble accepting that he's a serious male contender, we're putting him in a situation where he has to fight a woman. And this is like, oh yes, equality of the sexes. This was a great win for feminism. And they actually tried to compare the both by putting this stuff out there. That's nuts, man. That's really bananas. But then someone on Twitter, Sarge665, we traded a couple of tweets after I tweeted about that particular situation last night. And he pondered, and this actually makes sense. Did they feel like they had to make that comparison to justify holding this match to the mainstream audience, It's like, no, it's not just a gratuitous man versus woman match. No. Where there's precedent for this. We've seen this before, and it's a testament to our open-mindedness. And that actually makes sense. Sarge665, go follow him on Twitter, by the way, because he made a very salient point there, and I thought that made a lot of sense to me. That's probably why they promoted it as such, because otherwise it's ridiculous. You don't put James Ellsworth and Asuka in what is essentially a throwaway match, right? You don't put them both of them in a match together, and then promote it like it's this huge accomplishment for equality of sexes, you know, gender equality is what I was looking for. Anyway, that was preposterous. I thought that was amusingly preposterous, but it makes a lot of sense that they try to draw parallels with precedents so that the media doesn't crap all over them. Now, will this lead to more intergender matches? I don't think so. But if WWE is actually looking at their image within this very simple situation, and they're like, let's look at this image here, and let's take a look at our image and try to find situations where this has happened before that people can relate with, and that we don't have to explain ourselves. They're taking control of the situation. Like, they're already trying to pop a reactionary bubble, which makes sense to me. It's still stupid, but it makes sense. Well, not stupid. It's, what's the word? It's surprising, is what it is. Anyway, so finally, Ellsworth versus Asuka begins after the commercial. Carmella comes down after both James and Asuka have had their entrances. Ellsworth pulls a good stall at first. You know, he starts stretching. He does push-ups. He rolls up his sleeves on his t-shirt. I thought that was really fun at first. And at first, he's ducking moves. He's stalling. I like a good stall. I like me a good stall. He ducks moves. Asuka sort of bests him, but he keeps rolling out of the ring. He eventually just gets frustrated and takes off his t-shirt to reveal his absolute lack of definition. I shouldn't be making fun of Ellsworth because he probably works out more than I do in a day. And I'm not making fun of him, really. I mean, if I took off my shirt right now, you wouldn't be amazed at my lack of definition. You'd be amazed at my disdain for definition. Asuka lays in the strikes on him and he puts up his guard, but man, she is wailing on him, kicks him in the stomach, puts him in an airplane spin that makes Ellsworth nauseous and asks for a timeout. And then the slap! The slap! Wow! The slap heard around the world. That was something. I can probably hear the conversation backstage while they're going through the match, and Ellsworth is like, "Hey, Asuka, you just give it, just lay into me. You sure? Oh yeah. Come on, just lay it on me. I'm okay." And boy, did she ever! She did not hold back. Said, "All right, fine." Ellsworth basically flees Asuka at some point, runs into the audience. Asuka makes chase. Referee counts down for the double count-out. Boo! Stupid finish. But it's a stupid finish that has a purpose. Because after Carmella blindsides Asuka, after both James and Asuka run back to the ring, after Carmella blindsides Asuka and pushes her into the barricade, they meet up with Paige a little later on, and Paige sets a match with James, a rematch with Asuka next week. She says, "You're not gonna get away here, dude. You're not escaping another time. We're gonna make sure that this match happens next week. You're gonna get your rematch against Asuka, and this time it's gonna be in a Lumberjane match where all the women are gonna surround the ring to make sure that good old James Ellsworth gets a kicking." I thought that they were going to do a cage match, and honestly, that would have been just over the top enough in this very basic situation to make it work. I really, really, really thought this would have been good. I like what they're doing right now with James and Asuka, and it's protecting Carmella from having to do too much in the ring at the same time, as hopefully she continues to train and improve as a wrestler, but it keeps the act fresh. And, everyone's like, and people who say that that WWE have officially ruined Asuka, that Asuka is, all her mystique is gone. That's not true. Everyone who's watching this segment says to themselves, "Oh man, Asuka is going to eat Ellsworth alive," right? This is what we all had. This is what we're telling ourselves, and this is part of Asuka's ongoing mystique. If she had lost her mystique, we wouldn't be like sitting in the back salivating, going, "Oh my God, Ellsworth is gonna die," Asuka still carries that aura of strength with her, of invincibility. She is still very much legitimate. We'll see how all of this plays out, but for the time being, I like how this is going, and I like how this story's being booked. Will she win at Extreme Rules? My prediction show will be next week. We go back to Team Hell No backstage. They make a reference to diagrams. The diagrams for planning out matches and strategies that they used to do. But no. There's no diagrams. But we do need to get on the same page. Bazoom! Now that's some killer writing right there. What you need to do, Kane, is apologize. Kane is like, apologize for what? And the papers that Daniel Bryan was holding that we all thought were the diagrams are in fact a list of all the transgressions that Kane has done to Daniel Bryan. And he's got like 4 or 5 pages of it, and he starts listing them off. I thought that was really good. And Kane is like, no, listen, I apologize for everything. And here is the line of the night, or the bit of dialogue of the night. Kane says, "I love you, man. Everything is cool. We're buddies. You're like a brother to me." And very deadpan, Daniel Bryan answers, "You set your brother on fire." And I actually clapped in my living room, all by myself. Well, Little Hayes was there, and then I had to explain what the line meant, with the Undertaker and so on and so forth. That was fantastic. And this is the moment that I realized how the SmackDown creative team and the Raw creative team are on 2 completely different planes of existence. Because as confusing and nonsensical and broken the storylines are on Raw, that don't connect with the universe that World Wrestling Entertainment has created for itself, here they actually took the time throughout this episode of SmackDown to make sense of the Team Hell No reunion and to dig back into the past. Probably, and if this is it, well, that's fine. Probably because there were some people on the writing staff saying, look, if we don't respond to these things, to the fact that the last time that Kane and Daniel Bryan were in the ring together, they tried to murder each other, that there was that Kane tried to kidnap Brie Bella, so on and so forth. If none of this had taken place, we would all be on Twitter saying, why are they best friends again? Don't they remember this and this and that and that? And they're doing it. They're actually taking care of this storyline and making sense out of it. Kane is at a place where he wants to move on. Daniel he's happy Kane is there, but he's like, look, we've got history, man. We've got to hash this out. And look, I've been holding a journal of everything you've done to me over the past 5 to 6 years. And you know what it did? It cleared the air on this. And then the story doesn't become, well, can Kane and Daniel Bryan coexist now? Are they friends, or are they still sore at each other? Are they still enemies? No, the storyline is clear. We know where they're going now. They're buddies for real. They've hashed it out, and they all tied these loose ends, or what could have potentially been severely illogical plot holes, into this situation. And look how easy it was, creative team of Raw. Look how simple it was to just connect these dots. It didn't take six hype packages to make us understand. And it's a proof again that this is why one of the reasons people have a natural, and when I say people, I include myself in this, the natural capacity to say, you know what, WWE SmackDown Live is much better than Raw. One of the reasons behind this is because the SmackDown team takes time to create characters that we will be invested in, that we care about, by doing these kinds of little scenarios. It works. This made me happy. AJ Styles takes on Aiden English. AJ comes to the ring, has a mic. AJ Styles chants begin that evolve into dueling AJ Styles Rusev Day chants. That will never make me smile through. Never. He says Rusev's not going to break down the door to the house that AJ Styles built because it's not a rental property. And yeah, you know what? I've had rental properties, and we had secured doors and door locks. Couldn't just kick them in. They were well-made, hefty wooden doors. I didn't get. I sort of chuckled because I didn't get it. So are rental properties necessarily cheap? I don't know. Like, maybe the rental properties in my area are cool, but I don't know. When you go on an Airbnb, which is essentially a rental property. I had one when I went to when I went to Barcelona last year, and the door, the ground floor door to get into the building was like this thick, and it was wood, like not like a composite, like oak or something. And the key was about this long, and you had to twist it, and then you had to look. This was a secure door. I felt safe in my rental property. So Rusev comes out with Aiden English. Aiden English comes out with Rusev, because Aiden English has the match. But Rusev has a mic, though. It says, this Rusev, you haven't seen him before, because this is the Rusev who, for the first time ever, has a world championship title shot. And it'll happen on my holiday. I like that. And Rusev is so good. Says, I will evict you and move into your house that you built, AJ. And I'm going to echo some sentiments from the Fightful podcast post-show last night, but that I completely agree with. Rusev never got over being a heel, like a mean old heel. He got over because he has personality, because he's a colorful guy, because he knows how to communicate. He's charismatic, and he takes every opportunity that's given to him to make something special with it, no matter how mundane it is. And here they're having him be too much of a bully, just your typical usual heel. And they got to be careful. That's not why we love Rusev. I'm not saying that it should be babyface versus babyface, but they need to let Rusev be Rusev, because Rusev being Rusev is gold. That's all I have to say. So the bell rings, and Rusev still has his mic, and he's out of the ring. He's going down the steps, and he goes, oh, and AJ, by the way, I forgot to tell you something. And AJ turns around, and he's like, what? And as he turns around, Aiden attacks AJ. And Rusev just goes, oh, never mind. And he just walks down and takes a seat next to the commentary table, which was funny. Again, not much of a match here. It was fine. AJ hits a Nushigoroshi at some point. Aiden submits to a calf crusher. That's your match, basically. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Rusev grabs and drags AJ out of the ring after the pin. After the submission, I should say. Drives him into the turnbuckle post. Machka kick on the outside. Tosses him back in the ring. Puts him in the Accolade. Yeah, see, that's so basic. It's so basic heel that it feels kind of out of character for Rusev. There we go. We get an iPhone promo from the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. You know what? Those iPhone promos were made for the Iconics. Man, they can. There's no one else on SmackDown aside maybe Shinsuke Nakamura, who also had an iPhone promo. Neither of them that can make those promos work so well. They're such a good duo. They have incredible chemistry. You know, when you have two people who've been working together for years with the, that's what it does. So after the promo, basically, we get back from commercial and we have Becky Lynch versus Peyton Royce, who are both already in the ring. Billy Kay tries to run interference fairly soon in the match. There's at some point some abdominal stretching by Royce on Becky Lynch. She ties her up as well. Tries to get her into some submission moves, but Becky powers out. Peyton hits a spinning kick on Becky, who's on the top rope. That was pretty cool. Becky with a big exploder. Of course. Royce at some point has her in a fireman's carry, but Becky slides down, and gets her into the disarmor for the win. Nothing much there, but I mean, again, still continuing the story that they had started 2 weeks ago. Still don't know why the Iconics weren't at the match last week, but it's not so bad. It's fine. I think both Peyton and Billy Kay need to be put in situations where they have to showcase themselves more. Whereas in the meantime, Becky's on a winning streak. She's on a winning streak. The Stan accounts have never been so quiet. That's good. And you know what? A winning Becky Lynch it makes us all winners. I'll have a sip here. Then we had the Nakamura promo. We had missed. I think by seeing this was like, oh yeah, I missed Nakamura cutting heel promos. He's still on Jeff Hardy's case, so I'm really thinking that Nakamura is going to be your U.S. champion at some very, very soon. As soon as he can wrestle. Bitten by a dog, man. And he even referenced it very slyly at the end. Cute. Made me laugh. I think even Corey Graves at some point referenced it as well. They're all being very coy about it, very sly. I like it. All right. Your main event of the night is Team Hell No versus the Usos. This was good. It was fine. Brian goes quickly at first goes into a surfboard with Jimmy Uso. Kane and Daniel Bryan hit a slingshot yes kick in the corner, showing some tandem offense straight off the bat. Kane flings both of the Usos to the outside, but they double team him and then they do successive double dives on Kane, which is always really cool. The Usos are extraordinary in this. We're back from commercial, and Daniel Bryan is unloading on Jimmy Uso. Hits a corner drop kick. Huge head scissor from the top rope by Bryan. And he goes right into the S kicks. Later on, the Jimmy Uso kicks Bryan to the head, which launches him to the outside. And the Usos slow down the match, and they start healing it up. And this makes me happy, because I like when the Usos heal it up. I've said this for a couple of reviews recently. I find that the Usos are... they're excellent guys, excellent wrestlers, but they smile too much now. You remember when they were full on heel? There was a reason why they got full on heel. There was two reasons actually, because they're first of all, they're excellent in the ring. It's hard to not like them, but their character work when they were heels was extraordinary. They were credible. And it was this edge that they had that no one else in the company has. You know, you don't want to use the word thug, you know, because that might have certain connotations or implications that WWE doesn't want to get into. But that's how they came off as. And no one else in the company was doing it. And even if someone else would do it, was doing it in the company, they probably couldn't pull it off as well as the Usos anyway. So, you know, when they had that little edge, you know, that little crunch, a little something that you're not sure if you should cheer them when they were officially tweeners, and even when you actually felt that they had become baby faces, they still had that seriousness about them that like were focused, man. Now they smile a lot. They, you know, it's like they like to party. They like you know, they hang out with Naomi, and Naomi is, you know, she's a cool girl. You know what I mean? I like the Usos when they had their edge, and they had their edge here. They were healing it up proper in this section of the match. Kane gets the hot tags, sidewalk slams Jay for 2. They double drop kicks, gets Kane out of the ring. Jay dives after him, but he gets intercepted and tossed into the barricade by Kane. And then Jimmy Uso comes to dive as well, but Kane just punches him right in the face. Back in the ring, they double super kick Daniel Bryan, who's flying off the top rope. That was cool. Then they hit the double super kick on Kane as well. They pin. Kane kicks out at 2. They go for the double Uso, the double Us splash. They jump off, and Kane from his back catches both of them into chokeholds and does the double choke slam. 1, 2, 3 for Kane. Team Hell No wins. It is not a triple threat that's being set up for Extreme Rules. We're still getting the Bludgeon Bros. We're still getting the Bludgeon Bros versus Team Hell No, and I'm absolutely okay with that. And I like how, you know, Kane was sort of doing the yes movements, you know, and then Daniel Bryan goes over and says, "Hey, if you're gonna do it right, you know, yes." Then Kane shoves him aside. Fine, I'll do it your way. Yes. That was fun. I like that. And you see, they just maintain this tension, this necessary tension that they have between each other, but it's not storyline component. It's not something that you feel will affect the match. It's more like, okay, this is their natural relationship, Kane and Bryan and Daniel Bryan. They will always have this little tension between them, but it doesn't affect them from being. It doesn't play within the storyline of a match. Bludgeon Bros come out, and there's a stare down in complete silence until SmackDown Live ends. Everyone just stares. And in this staring contest, Bludgeon Bros with the advantage because they were wearing masks, so they could have been looking at anything. You know, they could have been having naps. No one would be the wiser. This was a better SmackDown Live than last week. Again, very focused on storylines as opposed to in-ring action. And I'm okay with that. When the stories are good and they make sense and you feel that they're actually going somewhere, I am totally okay with trading a little bit of trading some in-ring action. I'm completely fine with that, with storyline development. And we got a lot of that. Was it a solid, good show? I wouldn't go as far as to say that. It was better than Raw. I liked Raw more than many other people did. I didn't think it was that bad. So there you have it, folks. So next week is the go home show. I'm excited to see where this is going to end up. As it stands right now on Extreme Rules, the match I'm most looking forward to is Dolph and Seth. Of course, if they give the guys the leniency to just go at it, we're going to be in for a treat. Motivated Dolph is good for everyone. Seth is a house of fire. He's carrying the Raw brand right now. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. And you know what? I'm actually looking forward to Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, because both of these guys have a lot to lose if this match doesn't go the way it should. And I really think that, and I'm already doing my predictions, but I think that I think management, whatever you want to call it, are going to ask Roman to make Bobby look good. I really think that that's going to be his job. Is he going to lose? I don't know yet. Let me think about it. I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. So, there we go. That wraps it up for today. Remember, everyone, tonight, just like on every Wednesday, I do my post NXT live review right after NXT on Periscope. So around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me tonight. It's always a lot of fun. You can also check out my previous reviews. They're all on my YouTube channel, which doesn't have a vanity URL yet because I need 100 subscribers to do so. Please subscribe. And you can also go check me out on FightfulSelect.com, which is Fightful.com's premium service. I am on the Fightful Select premium service, Joe. You can find me there. I do retro pay-per-view reviews with gentleman Sean Ross Sapp. We recently did a review for ECW Hardcore Heaven 1995, and that was a pile of flaming trash. But it was a fun review. It was fun to talk about. But man, it's a garbage. It's garbage. If for those of you who are interested in intergender matches, and you know there's a lot of them going around on the indies, but you're not quite sure where to easily find one. Look, if you're a member, if you're subscribed to the WWE Network, Match of the Night on Hardcore Heaven 95 has an intergender tag team match. You have Tommy Richards and Luna Vachon. Tommy Dreamer and Luna Vachon taking on Raven and Stevie Richards. And Luna goes. And it's not like, oh, she tags in at a very certain moment where she can hit her spots. No, man, she's bumping. You should check that out. It's actually a really fun hardcore match. It was match of the night for both Sean and I. We enjoyed it. It wasn't mind breaking. It's nothing that's it's not anything close to a classic, especially when you consider what Tommy Dreamer and Raven were able to do together outside, not outside of ECW, but outside of this match. Their long-standing feud has many more memorable moments, much more memorable moments than this one. But this is a great match, and you can see where it's legit intergender wrestling. Luna does a hell of a job. She's really, really good. Anyway, you should check that out. But to look at you can go check it out on the WWE Network, Hardcore Heaven 95. But if you want to hear what I thought about it and Sean Ross Sapp thought about it, well, you have to go and become a member of FightfulSelect.com, and why not subscribe to their premium service. Fightful has a bunch of great stuff, and it doesn't cost much to become a member. There's lots of tiers. It's fantastic, and I'm shilling for them. But it is a great service. So go right ahead and do that, and you get more Warren Hayes for your buck. Who wouldn't want that? What do you think about it? Yeah. So that's it. And otherwise, hey, go right ahead and follow me on Twitter, Mr. Warren Hayes. That's where you find me. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out to the very end of this review. Join me tonight for the NXT post-show review on Periscope, and I'll see you next time.